Dear Amy, I'm writing this to you from a place that took a long time to reach, not because the path was unclear, but because it asked you to stop running long enough to feel where you already were. This is not a letter of instruction. It's not a letter of correction. It's not even a letter of celebration, though there is so much here to honor. This is a letter of testimony, of recognition, of finally saying out loud what you were too busy surviving to name at the time. I want you to know first and foremost that nothing about your becoming was accidental. Not the breaking, not the waiting, not the years that felt like silence, but were actually deep recalibration happening beneath the surface. You did not lose yourself. You were being stripped of what you were never meant to carry. And I know there were moments when that distinction felt cruel, moments when it seemed unfair that you had to fall apart in order to come home to yourself. Moments when you wondered why strength had to look like endurance for so long, and why clarity seemed to arrive only after pain had already done its damage. But listen to me now. Every part of you that survived did so because it trusted something deeper than logic, something deeper than proof, something deeper than reassurance. You trusted life even when life didn't look trustworthy. You trusted your body even when it betrayed you. You trusted your soul even when your mind was exhausted from trying to make sense of it all. And that matters more than you know. There were seasons when you thought resilience meant pushing through, when you believed survival required overriding your own signals, when rest felt like surrender and softness felt unsafe. You learned how to function inside chaos, because chaos was familiar, because productivity earned approval, because being needed felt like belonging. But Amy, needing to be needed is not the same as being loved, and functioning is not the same as living. Your rebirth did not begin the moment things got better. It began the moment you stopped abandoning yourself to keep everything else intact. It began when you listened to your body instead of correcting it, when you honored your emotions instead of explaining them away, when you allowed grief to exist without trying to fix it, frame it, or transform it into something palatable for others. That choice was quiet. It was unremarkable to the outside world, but it was revolutionary inside you. I want you to hear this clearly, because this is something you spent years doubting. You're not behind. You're not late. You are not broken. You are precisely where a woman stands when she has outgrown the version of herself that once kept her safe. And yes, that place is disorienting. Yes, it can feel lonely. Yes, it can feel like everything familiar has dissolved before the next form has finally arrived. But that does not mean you are lost. It means you are remembering. You didn't imagine the heaviness. You didn't exaggerate the fatigue. You weren't weak for needing rest, for needing help, for needing space to grieve the life you thought you were building and the version of yourself you thought you had to be. You were listening to wisdom that arrived through sensation instead of words. Your body has always been honest with you. It just took time for you to believe it. There were moments you felt invisible, moments you felt understood, moments you felt reduced to your output instead of honored for your presence. Moments when the world celebrated your strength without realizing how much that strength cost you. And I need you to know this, because the world still does this to women like you. You do not owe anyone your exhaustion. You do not owe anyone your pain. You do not owe anyone a version of yourself that keeps them comfortable at the expense of your own truth. Your worth was never tied to how much you could endure. Your value was never dependent on how much you could give. Your purpose was never meant to be earned through suffering. Your rebirth is not about becoming more. There's a difference between self-love and soul love, and you lived long enough in the space between them to know the cost of confusing the two. Self-love taught you how to care for yourself. Soul love taught you how to belong to yourself. And belonging to yourself changes everything. It changes how you move through the world. It changes what you tolerate. It changes what you chase, and it changes what you no longer explain. You no longer need permission to rest. You no longer need validation to trust yourself. You no longer need proof to know when something is misaligned. Your nervous system learned what your soul always knew, and that integration is sacred. This rebirth is quieter than the old milestones you once chased. It doesn't announce itself with applause or accolades. It doesn't come with guarantees or certainty. It comes with peace and clarity, with a grounded sense of, I am here and I am enough. And that's not small. It's not selfish. It's not indulgent. That is healing. And not just for you, but for every person who will feel safer in your presence, because you chose to feel safe within yourself first. For every person who will slow down because your pace invites them to breathe. For every person who will recognize themselves in your honesty and realize they are not alone in their remembering. You don't need to prove your rebirth. You don't need to package it or monetize it. You only need to live it. And living it means honoring the quiet mornings as much as the meaningful work. It means choosing alignment over applause and letting your life feel good, not just look good. It means trusting that the impact you are here to make will come not from how loudly you speak, but from how deeply you listen, starting with yourself. So if you ever doubt this path, if you ever feel the old pull to rush, to perform, to override what your body and soul are asking for, come back to this moment. Remember that rebirth does not always look like rising. Sometimes it looks like softening, or like staying, or like saying no. And sometimes it looks like finally believing that you are allowed to exist without explanation. You're not starting over. You're starting from truth. And truth has a way of carrying you exactly where you are meant to be, with tenderness, reverence, and trust. This is your rebirth, Amy. Not into who the world wants you to be, but into who you have always been beneath the noise. And you are safe here now.